welcome everyone. It is Rob. Welcome to this updated power option plays. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you please go ahead and type the number 1 in that comment section, that chat box rather, and let me know that you can hear me. I would greatly appreciate it. Loud and clear. Thanks, Lee. Morning, Donald. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whichever one it is from your place of the world. Yeah, Oscar, thank you. Yeah, Lee, I appreciate that. So guys, you're not going to turn video on today. You do not need to see this very pained expression on my face from me pulling my back yesterday. We're actually going to cut the event a little short. I'll go as long as I can today, but sitting is like the new smoking, right? Is really bad on my back. So I'll do what I can though, but the only thing that really seems to work for me is walking. So thanks for that, Ellen. I appreciate it. Thanks, Lee. Yep. Thank you, Erica. Yeah, I think you should get some rest. What is rest, Brenda? What is rest? You know, we had this nice weekend come up and my wife and I wound up in Manhattan. We were at the Jacob Javits Center for an AKC event, Meet the Pets, Meet the Pups. And they had 130 dogs to meet and greet and play with and talk to the owners and so forth, right? And how long can you be there? It's only 130 dogs. We got through the first half because it was on both sides of the aisle. We got through the first half of the aisle in about an hour and a half. So like, we probably need to speed this up a little bit. No new pups yet, PK. It was just my wife's just a tremendous animal lover. I love dogs, you know. My wife, it wouldn't matter, you know. Ants, she'd love an ant. It doesn't matter, right? This was just really me taking, you know, us hanging out for a day. It was like a date day, and then we went out afterwards for dinner. But I was on my feet for like 6.5 hours. No seats, nowhere to hang out, you know. So that on top of lifting some furniture yesterday did not help or bode well for my back whatsoever. So, all right. Well, keep in mind that everything we look at is for educational purposes and nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. Okay. So we got a lot of stuff coming up this week. Trading You on the 30th, February 1st is the E-mini Q&A. Mastermind group is tomorrow evening. We've got some stuff up there for next week as well. Power Hour, Trading Coaches Playbook, ka-ching. Both on regular schedule, as is Power Hour, Cover Call Explorer, and E-mini Think Tank. All right. So here's our follow us page. Make sure that you are. Folks, we're constantly adding stuff to tradinglikeaboss.com. This is about to become very big as far as the size goes, what's going on there. There's going to be a lot more content coming up there. I've got a new training that's coming out. We've got a brand new brand new class, brand new free training that's going to be happening with a brand new coach. Yep, brand spanking new. You'll see that over the next couple of weeks, guys, as we get into February here. But make sure that you're following along with the latest and greatest of everything that we do. You can sign up for Power Hour and Trading Coaches Playbook right here. It's very simple, very easy. All right, so all the freebies are on this page. All right, here's our manifesto, guys. We're going to make this available on the website. All right, Lee dropped in that Trading Like a Boss link. We're going to make this available on the website. It'll be a downloadable card that you can print out. I have it hanging on my wall. I'm going to get it laminated. I have it in my book that I read it every single morning. But this is what, you know, the Trading Boss Manifesto, guys. Here at Wealth Builders, we talk about one trade away, you know, tradingboss.com, right? Tradinglikeaboss.com. Well, you are a trading boss, and this is what it means to us for you to be a trading boss. So I'm not going to go and read through it, but we will have it available. You're going to start seeing it show up in some emails. It's going to show up on the Sunday newsletter. Speaking of which, how many of you have had a chance to go ahead and take a look at the company newsletter, the Sunday newsletter that we put out there? I mean, just give me a 1 for yes, a 2 for no. And if you've not even heard of it, give me a 3. We do our best to get the info out there, right? So every Sunday, you'll get an email from us every Sunday that says the Traders Market Intelligence Report is out, right? And this is a video that I do every week on the S&P 500, the VIX, maybe a little bit of what's coming up economic report wise. Okay. This is Sean. We do a transcript of it as well. Whatever the highlight is that week, Tony's Weekly Whispers. He's doing an amazing job with it. Of course, you can follow us on social media. We're in the process of turning these into actual links that you can click on them and get to those links, right? Here's the free trainings for the week coming up. You can get to the regular calendar here. I love what my team does with the earnings reports that they've got up here. They are fantastic, right? And then economic reports over here. And I just met this last week on Friday with some of my team down in Atlanta. And one of the things we talked about is the additions. This was phase one, is the additions that we're going to be adding into this next, right? So we're going to have a lot of other things that you can click on and come to from here, right? It's just wealthbuildershq.com/newsletter. All right. You're going to see it as again, every Sunday we send that out. It shows up in your email box that here's the market intelligence, traders market intelligence report. And just check it out, guys. I mean, I get very in-depth of what we're looking at for the S&P 500 and what's going on with the VIX as I did this weekend, right? So, and then that'll be a notification that it's there. And I'll give you a little hint. Normally this weekend, no, because I traveled, but normally this is done on a Friday night before my team goes home. I didn't get back home until Friday night at 10:30. So I recorded this on Saturday and my team took care of it on Saturday. But normally it isn't, you don't have to wait until Sunday to watch it. You just bookmark that page and go check it out. Okay, good. So let's take that down there. Let's go back in here. All right, so you got Tony's Weekly Whispers. Make sure you check that out, folks. It's really a great tool what Tony has put together there. Fantastic, actually. All right. So with my back being bad today, I haven't really had a chance to do a lot of work trading. And Microsoft, in 3 separate occasions today, has rebooted my computer. Problems over and over and over again. No video, no audio, no sound, no speed. I mean, it was just amazing of what they went through today, trying to get whatever update they forced upon me to work, right? Including shutting down all the programs we had. My Omega charts is shut down. My trade station is shut down, right? Because the last one came in about 30 minutes ago where they did that, right? So let me just open those programs up. But they were assigned for me, PK, exactly, of leave the market alone, go back and lay down on a couch somewhere, which is what I did for a little bit today. So talk to me. What trades did you guys do today? I did put out my my update this morning, right? We could check out some of those. But what trades did you guys do today? Drop them in the text chat. Right, let me know how you did. Oh, my bad. Karen said it would be great if you would cover what some people call the market SPX or SPY along with your top picks on the market mornings. So yeah, maybe, I mean, the goal there, Karen, on market mornings is to try to keep it a quick update. I can look at the S&P 500 and give a very quick analysis or synopsis of it. But really, the market intelligence report is where I start to dig in. I did this one on the weekend, as I said. Normally, I'll look at the weekly and the monthly on the S&P. But yeah, we can definitely start adding some of that in there. But my goal is realistically 5 minutes was my goal, and I'm seeing some of them starting to run up to 8 minutes now. So that's the tougher part for me. But I will look at trying to put that in. So, all right, Brandon, no trades today. Erica said SPY, $645 profit, ka-ching. Donald said SPY and Q stopped on both, but a profit. There you go. There you go. Paula said 3 SPY trades broke even. Okay. Nothing for Jim. Had to run around. You're welcome, Karen. Trip said nothing today yet, but up 1.5 points on Micron on Friday. Nice. PK said SPY up $320 still in the market mornings. With Baba right now down $20. Okay. All right. Excellent. Excellent. So if we look at the markets, let's go take a look at what's happening out there right now. So if we look, I mean, market mornings this morning, Alibaba to the downside, right? We've had a little bit of climb in there, but I mean, if it all holds well, you should still do well. We're above 117. You're still $5 away from the strike that we're looking to sell there on Alibaba, right? Let me make it bigger here. It'd be easier to see. We'll do Baba, right? The gap, great gap down, right? Above 117. Bill, not William as in Bill, but Bill, B-I-L-L, bear call spread above 126. That's way above what we can even see on the screen right now. All right, so that's doing good. EW. Nope, just EW, no S, Rob. EW, we said above 78. So you got a little dicey there on the climb back up, and we're right back down to about where we were, and we're just going to hang and drop at that point. So Google was bear call spread above 100. We're fine there. KOLD, cold. Ultra shares, Bloomberg, Nat, probably Nat Gas. Not one that I've really traded much. Bull put spread below 46. If you were able to get any premium for it, this was fantastic, right? Tesla, right? I said I was going to pass on a spread on it, but I was going to look at an options trade. And if we go over and look, since I've got everything here. So come on now, 177.64. You ready? This one angers me when I just don't, when I miss out on something, having to walk away because of my back. What did I say? 177.64. 177.64. All right. So what did we do? We pushed and closed down. We closed right here. Our closing price on this candle was, and I quote, 177.20. So we're 44 cents away where we closed. We stretched up on this next candle and we failed. Watch. If we go to 1 minute candles, all right, let's go back in time. Right. There was the break. Actually, we were looking at, that wasn't the candle, was it? We were looking at the 955 candle. All right, so 955 is this is the close of the candle right there. That's the closing candle. So 951 is our first candle. So we stretched up, we pulled back, we closed there. I mean, guys, you had an unbelievable entry opportunity on Tesla today, right? If you go back and look, let's just go look at about that 950 time frame. Let me open an option up. Tesla's had a great run this month, right? Yeah, for a short, Kevin, absolutely for a short. Yep, absolutely. I mean, you look where it opened, right at resistance. The market was down a couple of hundred points pre-market, right? Right now, we're down 24 on the S&P. On the S&P, I don't have the Dow here. I never do. We're down 24 on the S&P, almost 25 S&P. Okay. So if we look, let me just fix my options chain. It's too big when you first open it. Nope. So let's go to, put in Tesla. Okay, we've got resistance at 177.64. Right after this amazing run it's had today, this month, we got a nice failure right at a key resistance level. Right, so we're looking at, that 185, 187.5 is going to be one of the two strikes that we choose to look at. Right. If we go here and look at this option, and let's go look at the 955 candle. Right, this candle, that option was somewhere between 12 3/4 and $14, right in there. Right, we ran up to $18 and change on that price. Okay. So this was a great opportunity, and I called it as just a directional option. Just did not get a chance to trade it. Right. And if we go back to Tesla, you know, where are you out of the trade? Well, you could have been out on the first close above the 8 moving average. You could have been out on the second close. You could have waited for the close above the 21. Any one of those would have worked. Anyone would work. Yeah, PK said it was a switchback for Tesla. That's exactly it, PK. That's why. Let's see. Brendan said, Rob, when you say a bull put spread below or above, what strike price do we do on a vertical? So a bull put spread is a vertical spread. So all right, let's do that, Erica. Brenda, let's look at, as an example, we'll just take BABA was the first one. No, let's not use BABA because we're working off of old fibs on BABA. We didn't have a new place to draw. We do tomorrow. For sure. Or should. How about that? Not for sure, but we should. Okay, so this is the chart on Bill, B-I-L-L. I said a bear call spread above 126 aggressive. Okay, so I'm looking at this saying, okay, 126.45 is here. So we could have went to 127. But when I say that 126, Brenda, what we're looking for there is that's going to be my short leg. That's going to be my short leg. So we're going to look at the strikes and say, okay, what do we have? Well, I've got to go further out. So I need more strikes. So the 126 bear call. All right. So I'm going to sell the 126 at $6.30. And I'm going to buy the 127 at $5.95. So I have $1 of risk in that trade, and I'm taking 35 cents in. So if we do a calculation here, cash in is the cash in my pocket, 35 cents divided by cash out. If I took in 35 cents, I need 65 cents to do this trade. That's a 53% rate of return. No, that can't be right. That can't be right. Can't have 53% in there. So my maximum risk, so 0.35 divided by 1. So $1. So you're looking at 35% rate of return on this position for the day, taking in that 35 cents. Okay, it's only $1 strike. That's what it is. So great rate of return in there, but you're going to sell right above the strike that I gave you. So 126, and on this, I would have looked, okay, can we do 127? Right, I'll pick up 30 cents if I go another dollar out of the money, which gives me a better position above that resistance line. Does that answer it, Brenda? Yeah, Tripp said Dow is up 20, NASDAQ's down about 30. So once I so PK said, what about the stops then? So once I go ahead and set this up, right, my stop is going to be where? So I'm going to look at the premium that I took in. That's one of the ways you can look at this, is I'm willing to risk a maximum of what I took back in premium. So if I took in 25 cents, the maximum I'm willing to risk is 25 cents. So I would set a stop to get out of that position, let's say at 50 cents, right? So I'm locking in that I will not go beyond that, okay? If you are closer to a key level, which we are not right now, but if you're closer to a resistance or support level, then you can go on the other side of it, PK, and start using the percentages above or below, right? But when you're in the middle here of nothing, it's hard to say, go on this side 25%, or it's too big of a move. By the time you get there, you're underwater $4. All right, make sense, PK? Yeah, spreads are a great strategy, Brenda. And what I would say is this, just really dig in. Lee, do me a favor, please. We haven't looked at it yet for today. We will in a moment. But Amelia does a bunch of spread trades that she puts out there every single day. Every day, she's got those trades out there. Actually, let me see. Yeah, so here's one of them, okay? Here's one. This is on Zoom, ZM. She did a bull put spread credit. You see credit spread. She does debit also. Okay. And she opened this trade up with selling position, selling buy on the vertical spread. She did that at 9:31 this morning, took in 42 cents of credit. At 9:43, she gave back 20 cents. So she wound up keeping 22 cents of that 20. So for about 36% rate of return in 12 minutes. All right. Well, inside of the members area, Amelia's got a bunch of trainings that she's done on this. And actually, Lee, when is Amelia's? We don't have it on there yet. Do you have on the calendar, Lee, when Amelia's Q&A is for TradeWatch Alerts? We convinced Amelia to start doing trainings, live trainings for you guys that are in her TradeWatch Alerts. And this is her first one she's got coming up on this. So I'm really, really excited to see her teach. She's an amazing trader, right? But this is, so Brenda, this is the credit spreads. This is the way that we do them. This is, get in and digging into what Amelia does in the trainings there would be phenomenal, right? And her other trade today was on Goldman Sachs, right? She did a debit spread. She spent $1.16 to enter in the trade where she did a buy and a sell on a 355, 357 half debit spread, bull call. And then that was at 9:32. At 10:07, she got out of the trade for $1.80 of credit. Well, she paid $1.16. She got out at $1.80. She crushed it. Oh, that's right. This is her second one. She did do it last month. That's right. That's right, Trip. Yeah, we've got her on track though for the next one lined up. Yeah, there's other surprises there in our meeting this week that I got her to almost commit fully to. We'll see of what we're going to do in TradeWatch Alerts. But guys, she wound up with 55% in 24 minutes. Yeah, Trip said it was awesome. And Trip knows how to trade spreads, and it was awesome. So this is how powerful credit spreads are. It's right there, right? They are outstanding. And in the members area, you get a ton of training for it. So Erica said, random question. Someone asked me if I could explain how crypto works, specifically Bitcoin. Do you know? The person was skeptical and invest in something they don't understand. I fully understand. I fully get that, Erica. And I agree. You've got to be skeptical about it. Without a doubt, you have to be skeptical about it. Okay. The way it works is, take the dollar as an example. It's a fiat currency. It's backed by the full faith, and if you have any faith in our government, but in the full faith of our government, right, or whatever government it is. Well, that's great and fine and good. There's something behind it. Crypto has nothing behind it. So it is a belief, an understanding that at some point, governments are going to switch to cryptocurrencies and so forth. There are, there are many ways that people get ripped off with crypto, from stolen wallets, or you lose a password, there's no way of getting it back, and so forth, right? Bitcoin just happens to be the biggest one of them. Bitcoin has had massive runs up in the 60, 70 plus $1,000 range on the coins. They've been down in, when they started at pennies and hundreds, right? Just nothing. My very first time I bought crypto, I was $1,200 a coin when I bought it. And I only bought it because a friend of mine, who's not a trader, by the way, he's a marketing genius. His name is Jesse. Friend of mine calls me and goes, dude, you got to get into Bitcoin. So why? He goes, man, just go buy some. And it took me 3 hours to open an account, and I couldn't use a New York address. I had to use my legal Florida address that I have because you couldn't do it in New York. And it was nuts. And I wound up getting, after all that time, wound up getting in about $1,200 a coin, and watched it run up to over 20 and 30,000 at that point. And I was hooked on it. I own Bitcoin now. I own some Ethereum now. But those are the only two that I really have any interest in as far as the coins. I'm not a trader the way that people are in there trying to penny stock trade crypto. I don't do that. But bottom line is, you're investing in a theory. There really is there's nothing backing it. You can't say, oh, well, what keeps the dollar at the cost of $1, or, the dollar versus the yen. And they do those comparisons, but there's no backing to this. Now, there's no real backing to our dollar since being on the gold standard, but it is, the government says this has value, right? Somebody that did a research paper said Bitcoin has value, and that's all that was. That's all it was. Right? I forget the guy's name that put it together. I used to know that, but yes, you definitely want to dig in and learn more about it if you ever plan on trading anything with crypto. Let's see. All right, so Trade Watch alerts Q&A. The next one is coming up on March 2nd at 8 p.m. So write that down in your planners, folks. What are your thoughts on companies that make the coins long term? So Kevin, do you mean my thoughts such as, are they going to continue to make them long term? Does that make any difference? Or are you just asking companies that make these coins long term, do I see them still being valid, X from now? If that's the question, then, how do you name a coin after somebody's dog, right? And say, that's a new coin we're going to be looking at. I don't really see the value in things like that. I like stable coins, Bitcoin. And when I say stable, the stabler coins. I like Bitcoin. I like Ethereum. There you go. Trip said it. Satoshi Nakamoto, right? I think he put 21 million coins away or something, locked it up, and then he threw away the password to it. So no one could ever claim that they were him. Because if someone said, oh, I created it, great, prove that you've got that Bitcoin. And now 21 million coins at $23,000 a piece, you got some serious dollars you're talking about. All right, cool, Kim. Who is a Southern lady, gracious and accommodating? You're talking about Amelia? Absolutely, without a doubt. As long as you don't get on the wrong side of her. Joan said, have you sold any Bitcoin and how did you get the dollars so you could spend the dollars? Yes, I have sold them. So in my Coinbase account that I have, I bought it in Coinbase, I sold it in Coinbase, and I just make a transfer to get the monies out and use the monies for what I want from there. You could also buy things with Bitcoin, right? I have purchased items with Bitcoin also. The difference is if I make a mistake and I transfer $100 versus $1,000, I meant to transfer 100, I transfer 1,000. I've got some more recourse from a bank account. You do it on Bitcoin, you really have zero recourse at all. So you got to be very careful. A lot of places before they let you buy something with Bitcoin will tell you, or Coinbase will tell you, hey, make sure this is not a scam, type things before as you're using it, because those are becoming much more relevant these days. Yeah, Amelia is amazing. Again, PK, just never get on her wrong side. That Southern Belle will never mess with her. I appreciate it, Joan. Thank you. Thank you. Stretch out a little bit here. All right. Fantastic. So let's go look at the S&P 500. I'm going to bring this up. Let's take that down. All right, so we can see the entire Fibonacci in there. So we're looking for the close above, even the break above this recent high, 4,196 cents. We got close on Friday. We stretched back down, closed underneath the 40.71 level. I want to see the break above that 41.01 level. The retest and the bounce would be ideal. And then we have an opportunity to consider some bullish directional trades until we get to the 41.81 level, which is the fib line. I am still not convinced that we're done going down, although I don't believe we're going to see lowest lows any longer. I do believe we are going to, with the Fed this week, we've got some decisions to make from there. Right now, Trip, can you tell me what percentage at a quarter hike we've got? Right now, we've got a very high percentage of 1/4 point rate hike in there. I think the Fed is making a mistake with a quarter. I believe it should be a half, and there's a host of economic reasons for it. But generally, I don't think we're done yet. We have not fixed the unemployment issue. We're not going to wind our way out of this inflation. We're getting better, but we're getting better because gas is a big part of that still. And we're maintaining that lower price. China comes back online and all deals are off, right? The oil, the energy is not going to be there the way we thought. People may be looking at it and saying, yeah, but Rob, when you come to layoffs, there's only really big companies are laying off. Well, that's not true. McDonald's put out an article not long ago that they are looking for ways to reduce their labor costs, and they're looking to do so by automating more services. When my wife worked in a McDonald's, which when I met her, she worked at McDonald's. Actually, I've talked about childhood sweethearts. My wife and I've been dating her since she's 17. And don't ask me how old she is now, it doesn't matter. So we've known each other a long time. She worked at McDonald's. There were tons of people behind that counter. I've gone through a McDonald's drive-through, and you got one person who's working the counter and the cash and the drive-through register. That's it. They're dealing with both, right? They got a couple people in the back doing food, and that's it. There's nothing any longer from what they used to be. So the big layoffs are just an indication of layoffs. I don't think we're anywhere near done with layoffs. So Trip and Jim, both of you guys, thank you. I appreciate it. Said 98.1% increase, chance of an increase of 1 quarter point. Right. So yeah, it is not fun. It is not fun with what we're going through, or going to go through with the markets yet, and not just the market, the economy. There is still plenty of economists out there, including the one that I talk with from my own personal mastermind group, that is of the camp, and he very well could be dead wrong, but is of the camp that we have years of economic recovery here, years. And it doesn't help with government stirring the pot of whether or not the debt ceiling passes and the conversations coming out. You'll hear the president saying that they're going to cut Social Security and Medicaid, Medicare, whatever it is. And you get the Republicans coming out and saying, absolutely not. We're not planning to touch that at all. So there's just blatant lies on both sides. I don't know how these people get away with this stuff, and just politicians, period. Not Republican versus Democratic, could care less. I used to use this in my events all the time. What do you call 1,000 politicians at the bottom of the ocean? A good start, right? They're all liars, no matter who they are. Brenda said, so when rates are raised, what does it do to the market? So when the rates are raised, what happens, Brenda? It's more expensive. It's more expensive for companies to buy things, but it's more expensive for individuals to buy things. Savings had dropped down last month over $1 billion. I think less people saved than they did in prior months, something like that. It was a huge number I had heard, something that Goldman Sachs had announced. So, you have less money available, less cash on hand. We're seeing it now, guys. And, I always focus on real estate, always. If I find a good deal, we're always interested in investing in another property, right? We own a bunch now. New York, Florida, upstate New York, that's been our focal point, is right there, right? But now, because we have this quest my wife and I are on, of looking for a second house in Florida for us to use, not an investment property that way where we're going to rent it out or fix it and flip it, but an investment property that we're going to use it for our snowbirding type things. We're seeing, and I'm very much a numbers detailed individual, where I look at patterns and so forth. And one of the patterns I see is I get an email, and for 3 or 4 weeks in a row, I only get one a week. I ask them to send me. On a Friday, I get an email that says, here's the updates and or new listings this week. And every week, in the price range we're looking for, the property type we're looking for, the area we're looking for, 25, 35, maybe 40 properties. That would be like a high end. 30 is pretty much the average what we saw, right? Of new properties coming out. Last week, 65 properties came out. In 1 week, 65 properties came out. Double what we had. When I started looking, the supply was about 2 months, and now supply is about 3 months where we're looking, right? So does that mean that real estate is going to crash? No, but it does tell us that there are some things happening out there. When you look at interest rates right now on mortgages, the interest rates on the mortgages came down 0.04% or something 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Some small number like that. I don't remember exactly the number. But the Fed didn't drop rates. That's just the bank saying, let's back off a little bit and try to stir up some business, which it did. They had a tremendous increase in offers being made that week for new mortgages. Tremendous increase. All of this, as we look at the S&P, and yes, we're in a bullish bias right now, and it is true bull. Now, we have not broken this down cycle in the past here. I don't mean recently. In the past, we've not broken like we have now. This is our longest run. It's the longest push up. Someone that says, yep, I knew that was the bottom there, then you're a freaking genius. I have absolutely no idea of how, but you and I need to have a conversation because you're an absolute freaking genius if you pick this as the bottom of the market and it ran from there, right? Yeah, Kevin said, what about foreclosures? I talked to our realtor, and she's very much, she's a sales lady, right? That's what she does. She sells real estate. She's like, no, I don't think you're going to see the big drops anymore. I think you might get a little bit of a move to the downside. And then after pushing and prodding a little bit, she's like, well, you might see another 10 or 20% in the earlier parts to the third quarter, first or third quarter of 23. You might see, a 10 to 20% drop. I said, well, if you're looking at a $500,000 home, 10% drop is 50 grand, 20% drop is 100 grand. I said, that's not something worth waiting a couple of months for. I said, we're not in a rush to buy a house. And then Kevin put in there foreclosures with a question mark. And that's just it. Absolutely spot on. That's when she says foreclosures are coming in the fourth to the first quarter of fourth quarter this year, the first quarter of next year. The foreclosures are going to be kicking up. There are a bunch of houses that were bought as the properties were going up in price. People were buying them only on a principal mortgage, which has to be refinanced. And now when you were at 3%, and now you're at 6%, 6.5% in interest rates, people can't afford it. You see where all this is going is just, it's not good. Yeah. So Jennifer said, deli, bread, eggs, very expensive. Yeah. I don't buy eggs. My wife does. I don't normally go to the store for shopping that. She has a very specific eggs that she wants, right? But she's, I saw the other day in the store, $7 for a dozen eggs. Are you nuts? And this is the closest supermarket to us is a dive. I can't stand the place. Their motto is suspiciously low prices. That scares the crap out of me. I got to tell you, I don't want to eat hardly anything that if it's got their name on it, I don't want anything to do with it personally. But fruits, vegetables, they didn't grow them. So I'm okay with that. Which is what I buy from there, right? Is trying to buy and sell more difficult with tight markets, also higher interest rates. There's so many little components behind it. Tripp said, Wall Street Journal article about Mickey D's using conveyor belts to deliver food to the window. Yep. They're looking for ways to get away from labor, right? Labor takes days off. They form unions. They fight. They argue with customers. The conveyor belt just makes the delivery. Woo, here you go. Take your bag. You're done, right? Yeah, and Erica, that's not the good ones. This is in the cheap store. The place that she buys them from is, $8 and $10. I saw a video the other day talking about you need to have your own chickens. We would. I love gardening and all that stuff. We would have had them here, but it's illegal in our county. Can't have chickens. Not even one. It's illegal. All right. Jim's asking, I've noticed the positive fib numbers are 0.23632. On the negative, there's 0.272,382. Why negative 272 and not 236? Because the 272, Jim, is an extension. So on the extensions, the true number is 272. So when we look here, you've got 764, right? And it's hard to see because it's hidden there, but I don't want to move it around because it's right where the fib line itself belongs, right? So here you've got a 764. That's a Rob number. That is not a actual fib number. 786 is. 764 gives me the inverse of the 236, and my trade setups give me a better setup using the 764 than a 786, which is hardly ever used anyway as a number, right? But for my Fibonacci 4-step, that 764 is an absolute spot-on number and gives me an inverse relationship to the 236. Once we get down here, it's no longer 236, it's 272. And notice we have a 0.5 here and we don't use a 0.5 here, right? That is me. I choose not to use it because when you break the 382, the 5 becomes more mental block, usually, not always, but usually than anything else. You tend to get a bigger opportunity of breaking to that 618 at that point, right? So I don't have it in there because everything gets just too busy, too close. All right, so I hope that helps. Okay. All right, fantastic. Good. Guys, what stocks did you want to take a look at? Drop those in as we talk Fed, right? For a moment here. We've talked about interest rates and so forth. We already went through what the interest rate, the chance of hike is. And really what it comes down to is the Fed done raising rates, right? We're going to see a raise this week. I don't believe we are there yet. And there are a lot of economists, well, I guess on both sides of the coin. But the way I look at it, there's a lot of economists that feel this year we're still going to see a massive hit. There's a gentleman that we follow, my wife and I follow on YouTube. My wife is religious, watching this guy every single day, from the Miami area. And he was talking about, he is a business owner. He's a realtor. He's a business owner, and he does not have reportable income the way that the average person does, right? Because he does not have a regular, steady paycheck every week. He gets paid when he sells. So he filed for a different type of mortgage he applied for, which is what he has. And his mortgage actually has an early penalty payment if you pay it off too soon, right? If you pay anything off early. He just got a letter from the mortgage company that says, we are removing that clause and you will no longer have an early payment penalty. Why? Because the mortgage brokers are in trouble. We've had 2 or 3 major mortgage brokers close across the country, right? Okay. So yes, I don't believe we're done raising rates, but I definitely do believe we're closer to the end. I think we do get to that 3/4 point. I think anything less than that is a mistake, but we really got to see what the Fed says this week and what their answer is to what's going on. All right. So, all right, let's see. We've got, let me bring up my symbol grid. Let's go look at all stocks so I can get Fibbits as required. Timothy's asking for Amazon, AMZN. All right, so Amazon down a little bit today, still in a bullish bias, not true bull, Timothy, but I like the pattern. We've got a blue zone. I didn't draw it because it's just really tight in there, but we have a blue zone between 100 and 99.41. All a blue zone means is it's a zone of 2 very close levels rather than a singular line of just 100 or just 99.41. We would expect to see bounces coming off out of there. Amazon has earnings coming up on the 2nd. They are confirmed after the market closes, along with Apple and Google. So caution on all 3 of those. Meta is, was it the 1st? I don't have the paper here. Meta is coming right around the same time frame. We'll look at that in a moment. So on Amazon, I like the bounce off the 100 and the move up towards 103.60. If we fail, we got to get under the 99.41, break the 8, retest and drop, and then you're looking at 99.25 to the downside. On Meta, META, right? 2/1 is their earnings. So February 1, which is Wednesday. Thanks, Trip. Appreciate it. I had it down here on Omega charts too. I just didn't have my sheet in front of me. Thank you for checking it. So we got above that -1. We've got to redraw fibs on Meta. We're not there yet. That pullback is still not enough, I don't believe. We're going to draw from somewhere down in here. I don't believe our pullback was enough for me yet. It's okay, but not really. And I would draw this on power option plays because that's where we make adjustments and changes is there, because this is one of our stocks that we track there. So I like the pattern. Right? Break down that 148. If it pushed up to the 149 and failed, you're looking at about 143 as the downside. If it breaks up, you're at that switchback right now. If it breaks up, fails back to 149, bounces, 158 is the target. Right? I like it a lot. Right? So there you go, Timothy. I hope that helps. Let me know in the comment section down below. Qs, QQQ. All right, let's go look at a bigger picture. That was Brenda on the Qs. You're welcome, Timothy. Let's see. Q, same scenario. We closed up here Friday. We gapped down to the 292.82. We are in a true bullish bias right now. My problem with this being the move down is I do have some room, but only down to 289. So I don't have a lot in there. I would be really tight on the setup that I'm looking for. And guys, listen, I want to be very clear. I want to be so freaking abundantly clear about this. You will trade these any way that you choose. And there's nothing wrong with that. All right? Any way that you choose. But this is from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of last week. $27,300 between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're up $148,524 in power option plays this year. And what do I do that is so wacky and ridiculous and make all of these moves and blah, 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 blah? Nothing. I put together sheets that look just like this. Okay. The week before, we had $34,215. And that was on the 25th. This update was for, which means we were looking at Monday and Tuesday was $25,000 in trades. All right. The week before, we had 7,800. The week before, we had 12,000 in jingle. The week before was 26,000. The week before was 5,600, 26,000, 70. We'll call it $8,000 and $6,000. All right. I mean, guys, this, yeah, that's January 3rd. But that just wrapped up what we had closed there for last year. Okay. So these are the numbers right here. Well, actually, these are the setups for this ones that came out of this. Today is Monday, right? So these were for today, actually. These are all for today, right? Got a couple of earnings in there. These were all from the previous week. These are all the trade setups right here. Guys, we crush it. So you could choose to follow the way that I do it. You could choose to follow your own way. Yeah, PK said pop last week gets the Thor hammer. Oh, man, we just destroyed it, didn't we, PK? Absolutely. I mean, if you look, if we go back to those numbers and said we had $27,000, right? And then here we had $34,000. Again, this was for the 25th. So that was for Monday and Tuesday was 24 grand. And then 27 grand in there. So over 50 grand in 1 week, right? Just amazing setups. So again, listen, I am not showing you this to try to impress you. That's not me. I don't really care if you're impressed or not, personally. That's not what floats my boat. I show it to you to impress upon you that following a system that's been time tested works, right? Use anything you choose. That's okay. Anything you choose. All right. So on cues, Brenda, I like it, but more to the upside than I do to the downside. So let's see. Hope that helps, Brenda. Let me know down below. Barry's asking for Goldman Sachs. So Barry, we've had Goldman Sachs on power option plays many times, on and off over the years, and we've not done well with it. I've not done well with it. Our numbers had always been lower. We did okay last year with Goldman Sachs. It really wasn't a bad one for us. Let's see if we go and look at. Let me pull. It's 2023. It's 2022. Nope, it's not there. It was in another file. It's in a file called results. Or not. I can't find it right now. Oh, there it is. Pop 2022 numbers. Got it. It should be in results. So Goldman Sachs. Got it by alphabetical order here. Oh, we had a couple more there. So you can see on Goldman Sachs, we did okay. But this is not the one I'm really looking for. Here we go. So Goldman Sachs, for the year, we made $42,000, $1,994 a trade. It equated to 3% of our P&L. That's just closing price. It equated to 3% of the P&L that came out of power option plays. So a little bit under the average. But in the past, I've not done as well with Goldman Sachs, 21 trades, 15 winners. That I'm a big fan of. 5 losers, 1 break even. So I have no problem with the break evens. That's fine, right? But that did well for us. Okay, so I like Goldman Sachs, Barry, a lot at this point. Now they had a nice pop today. They're up $7 right now. So we're in a bullish bias. What looks like true bull right now. Retest to 358 and bounce, and you're looking at 370 as resistance there. All right, so I hope that helps. Let me know down below. Micron, MU. Okay, so Micron's already had their earnings come out. Trip, I like where they're sitting right now. I wish the 8 moving average was a little bit closer, but that if we get a close near this now and a bounce for tomorrow, 64.5, and we've been there before twice that I could see right here in this very narrow range. 1, 2. So this is fantastic. I love the setup, Trip. Good call. And then IBM, Trip's asking about. Right. So the earnings for them, I remember, were not very good. You could see it right there. Here's the E. They got down. I normally, Trip, I'd like to see with something like that, and then they're going sideways. I normally need to see just a couple more days and or a break in a direction. I would much prefer this breakdown below the 134.5, retest and fail with 131 as our downside target for them. All right. Let's see. Sorry about the chair noise rolling around, guys. I'm just trying to keep this going and get through the whole thing today. Let's see. Barry said, I just traded it twice from TradeWatch alerts. Once it was positive and watching for the next hit positive, but it's slow. Yeah, and it's midday, right? So that's what you're going to deal with at this time of day. But I'm glad to hear that that this worked out for you from TradeWatch alerts. That's fantastic. All right. Trip said that was my Friday trade. Good for you, Trip. That was a good trade. Okay. If you ever take advantage of that move. Karen said IWM. Thank you, Karen. I knew it was in there. Yours was actually next. And that's the last one we've got in there right now. Unless I missed somebody, so let me know if we did. Oh, no, I don't want to do the scrunch. I just wanted to bring it a little closer. All right, beautiful. So retest of the 187 with the eight moving average in there. Karen, I absolutely love that, right? That bounce up to 193. If you break, the nice thing is if we break, you've got room down to 184. So there's still a decent potential move in there. Guys, right now, the pattern you're seeing, what's happening today on IWM, right, which is the Russell 2000, you very much have a sideways market, right? So what does that mean? Iron condors, right? Cover Call Explorer, we're doing amazing with them, right? So I love iron condors on it. Paul is asking for SPY. Whew, okay, so Paul, I don't like where it's at. The 401.89, 406.54, it's okay. There's some room in there to move, but we're in a fairly tight range. We've got a blue zone right below, the 8 moving average inside of the blue zone. There's a lot of, I wish it was this way instead. That 272 and 382 are just a shy or a tad too close to each other, okay? For my liking, So, but the bounce off this 402 gets you room up to 406. And we've been there twice before, 3 times before. Mid-November to now, 3 times before. So I definitely like it. All right, let me see what Jim's got here. About the market, bullish or bearish, how are companies' earnings? The ones that have reported, are they beating or missing the estimate? How are their outlooks? If a company is beating estimates and outlook is up, then the market should go up. If they're missing in the outlook bleak, then it should go down. FOMC does have a play in the direction of the market for sure, but so does earnings. Absolutely. And the FOMC should not be focused on the market. At least that's not in their edict. That's not in their directive, which I think is a mistake. Too many people have money in the market now. This is not just the Rockefellers in the market any longer. The average Joe has their 401ks in there. So I think the market needs to be taken into account, not just the economy. Yeah, earnings have been okay. This week is the biggest earnings week coming up, Jim. So this is going to be the telltale is this week. That's the expectation of where we're going to see pullbacks or runs from it. Tech, some techs have done okay. Some techs have gotten hammered. But this week, again, tomorrow with Google, Apple, and Amazon all the same day. Not tomorrow, second. Meta on the first. We've got a lot of big names, big tech names coming out. Now, that is more, and it's not just tech, but there are a lot of earnings. But we have a lot of big tech names, which more measures into the NASDAQ than the overall market of SPX, right? So yes, I agree with you. It's not as vanilla as if earnings are up, the markets should go up. Because the markets still have to look at if the Fed comes out and says, yeah, we see another 1.5 raise, that means that much more money that companies cannot borrow and or difficulty to spend with that, right? So just an FYI, but yeah, lots of earnings the next week too. Yeah, I think this is the biggest one, but yes, Trip, there are still a lot of earnings coming out, right? On power option plays, I think we had 10 of our 20 stocks had earnings coming out within the next 3 weeks. So that's a big number. Definitely in that season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I did it. I got right to the very end. We're going to leave the room open for a couple of minutes. Lee dropped a couple of links in there for you guys. Go check it out. Lee, drop in a power option plays. I saw that Corey was asking about that. So drop in a power option plays link if you don't mind. And guys, check it out if you want. That's fine. If you don't, that's fine. We're all good. Thanks, everybody. I definitely appreciate it. A lot of people in here today. Good day. We actually had a brand new hire, my assistant, Pauline. She is in here, so you guys can give her some kudos, some thumbs up. But you're going to start hearing her name a little bit and see her doing some stuff with us as well. So I'm excited for all of that. So thanks, Brenda. I appreciate that. There go all the hello Paulines. Yep. Thanks, guys. Just love when we're building on our staff, baby, just making a bigger team for you guys, building that bigger family. So it's all part of that trading manifesto, trading boss. So everyone have a great day. God bless. And I'll see you all at our next update. All right. Bye for now.